edition. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's host, Dr. Mitch Ronnie Egwa.
Honor to be here. Dr. Ronaldo Michel Iguang is my name, and I'm proud to be here at the Gathering of Givers. Man, it's been an entire year. Can you imagine? Last time when we were here, I guess there was a question that many people were asking, and they were saying, you know, do I really have to have tons of money flowing out of my wallet? Does my room have to be full of gold before I actually become a giver? What does it mean actually to be a giver? And let me tell you what, one of the things I found out during the course of the year, because I think from the last time we actually met, I joined an organization called Rotary. And Rotary actually opened my eyes up. And they showed that you actually don't need to have much in the hand, but you can have a lot up here. And the process of giving is unbelievable. This year, we're going to be celebrating people who, number one, are voices. People who are outspoken, who don't get tired of saying the things that need to be said. But about what? Well, I'm sure you noticed that I'm in a beautiful green space here. This year's theme, the earth is calling. And it's time for us to sow seeds of generosity. So you're going to be hearing a lot about what they call climate philanthropy. What are you doing? What am I doing to be able to ensure that we safeguard this earth for generations to come? So it's not just about voices, but it's about value, about people who are actually doing things. You wake up, you see that, oh, maybe I could use less water, or maybe I should plant a couple of trees. But then again, you see, it's not just about today, it's also about the future. And we're going to be very proud to also be taking our hats off to people who are visionary. People who are thinking about tomorrow, and who've got sensitization campaigns and ideas that will span the test of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you the truth. Today is an interesting day. When I was preparing for this, I said, what are some of the statistics which are life-changing? And I landed on one, and it keeps coming up on my social media feeds, and said, imagine if tiny insects like bees were to disappear from the ecosystem. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I wouldn't get stung. Yes, but guess what will happen also? What will happen is that there would be millions of species of plants that would also die out. En suite to that, there would also be millions of other species of animals that will also die. Actually, they said 1.2 million species of animals would go extinct if bees decided to disappear. So what are we doing to impact the communities? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very proud that this year, at this year's Gathering of Givers, we're going to do something special. We realize that, you see, the process of giving can only be complete when it goes this way and it comes back. So we decided this year to introduce what they call the Gratitude Award. And this Gratitude Award is our way of thanking people who are going over and above and doing more to be able to safeguard our environment. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to put on your travel boots, and we're going to go to Gangwa. In our language, it means our home. So, we're going to go a couple of 100 kilometers to the north of Uganda and meet a visionary woman who's been changing lives one seed at a time. Kindly take a look.
My name is Pamela. I work as the Executive Director for Gulu Women Economic Development and Globalization. Gulu Women Economic Development and Globalization is a women rights organization working in northern Uganda promoting gender equality, women empowerment, and transitional justice. So from the beginning of the Seed Fund project years back, I think when we've started, we were looking at promoting women land rights and looking at how that is connected to, access to promoting livelihood and food security. The biggest aspect was food security. And looking at food security, then we must get into an aspect of promoting women land rights. We did that first phase of the project where we promoted women land rights through advocacy work, and a lot of women gained back, their land from the project. Now, from the food sovereignty project, we started seeing how can women be in control. In control, one, on conversation related to food security. The second thing is also that they should safeguard and make sure that they do organic, food production. And that led us into a food sovereignty project that can bring in the aspect of seed bank now. Right now we are talking about food sovereignty from the perspective of managing a seed bank by the grassroots woman herself. Now the beauty is that the seed bank has contributed into multiplication of one indigenous seed. Now why we call it indigenous seed, we are tracing back our roots before the war in northern Uganda, that we used to have seeds that you don't need to go to the market all the time to buy new seed. Now the seed bank is coming with solution to reduce on the cost involved in getting seeds, but also is multiplying rich vegetables and food products that have been used by the same community long time ago. And that means the community in their own way are going to be in control and in charge of making decision choice about what.
Wow, amazing story. Let's give her a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Pamela, when we say someone has done a good job, I happen to be a man from northern Uganda. We call it the USA, the United States of Apache. And we're proud to say, Apoyo Timothy Chaber, thank you for doing such a great job. But we as Africans, we just can't say thank you. What we do is that we'd like to put something in your hand to show our appreciation. And it's not my space to do that. I like to call upon someone really special. We've got the founding CEO of Sivsos Africa, Jackie Asimwe. Jackie, good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Let's give a round of applause. Come on, don't hold back. Nice to see you, Jackie.
Thank you so much.
What have you given today?
What have I given today?
Yes.
I gave breakfast to Musonda via the hotel, our chief guest. I've been giving hugs.
Yes.
I'm a Muchiga, we hug.
Yes.
We squeeze.
Okay.
So I've given squeezes.
So what would you like to give now?
Now, I'd like to give our first ever gratitude award to my dear friend, Pamela. I was just asking her when we first met, and we both can't figure out, but this woman is a powerful woman, lives and works in Gulu. When we first met Gweji, she was reminding me we were under a tree. That's where their office was. That's how it started, under a tree, and their passion was for widows of the war, the LRA war, the Lord's Resistance Army War that went on for 20 years in northern Uganda. And they were trying to restore the dignity of the widows. They were trying to restore the livelihoods of widows. And that's when I first met her. She's a powerhouse of a woman. She's a feminist, an activist, a lover of Mother Earth. And that's why we're giving her this award today.
Amazing story.
So if I may,
by all means.
Pamela, it is our pleasure, our deepest pleasure, Sivsos, Civ Fund, and this gathering here to give you the first ever gratitude award. Thank you so much for the work that you do, the tireless work that you do, even in a wheelchair. She was able-bodied when I met her, and then she had an accident, which took her out almost for a whole year. here she is. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you so much, Jackie. This is to the women of Uganda. And for the women of northern Uganda too. Let me open quickly. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being exemplary. I think this is the first female award I have received. People know I always receive award, but from the heart of a woman, this is the first one. Thank you so much. Mother Earth, we are working to promote food sovereignty. In every homes there is a woman cooking, and her decision about food. Moreover, we are talking I'm talking about indigenous seed. I'm talking about revitalizing our cultural food. This is respected, and I know everybody going home is always respected by Malakwang, Akeyo, Odi. These are the things that we want to promote because they have an inviolable health, nutrition, and livelihood. And imagine we are in a country where a woman do not have that choice to make, because we do not even have access to seed. And now this program is talking about seed poverty. We have to address seed poverty to increase livelihood and food security. And this is the heart of my program. Everybody knows that I am into this, because at the end of it all, our country will survive. The green will come out. And again, coming from post-conflict, where we only see bullet, we want to make sure that we plant back our trees, but make sure that our cultural indigenous livelihood is back. This is where we gain our respect from. And I want to thank Safe Source, thank Safe Fund for all this, because at the end of it all, you've seen the women in the village, what they are doing. Organic cassava, beans and maize. We do not want you to fail to have access to the seed in the next year. We can't do that with GMO. I want to see the local woman walking in her garden and picking her seed from among her garden, the best one, and plant the next day and give to the other. So what is the story? The story is the first seed bank in Uganda. I invite you to northern Uganda. Thank you.
Wow. Now that is what we call an inspirational story. But let me ask a question. Imagine if you started an idea, tiny one. You just took one step of faith. Then somebody else followed you. Then the next day you had 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 people. Imagine if an idea became a movement. How much of an impact do you think that would have? Well, take a look at this next story and you'll see what just an idea can do to the entire continent.
Hello everyone, this is Catherine from Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is a global movement that inspires people to give, collaborate more, and celebrate our diverse cultures of generosity.
Giving Tuesday was created in 2012 as a symbolic year, a day that encourages people to do good, and has since evolved in over 80 countries around the world.
Central to the movement is a network of passionate community leaders who engage and coordinate their communities to take up generous actions to support the causes that are close to them. In Africa, climate change has impacted our communities in various ways, and our network of community leaders are taking action.
Young people in particular are instrumental in championing movements focused on addressing the challenges of climate change. We proficiently fall on all of us especially to them who have the responsibility to innovate ideas and work together with the community members to ensure these challenges are solved both at the community level and at the individual level. Some of the movement leaders mobilizing the community and the world to take climate action and champion climate justice include Leisen.
Hello everyone, my name is Leisen K. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm the founder of the initiative Trees for Goals. Trees for Goals is a project focusing on tackling the second world leading cause of climate change, deforestation. Using the power of football, I commit that for every goal I score, I plant 11 trees. I've been able to involve my friends, my school, and my football club. I started Trees for Goals at the age of 12 after hearing the devastating effects of deforestation and climate change. I found out that in my country, we lose forest cover the size of 130 football pitches every single day. I realized that I must be the change and I must take action. And so after taking inspiration from Wangari Maathai, who talked about doing hard little things, I brought the two things that I loved, which is football and my love for environment, and committed that for every goal I score, I plant a tree. With Trees for Goals, I've been able to involve my friends, my school, and my football club. Together, we've been able to plant over 2,000 trees. I've been able to teach them about the deforestation, the climate crisis, and the importance of taking action now. Many different schools and football clubs around Nairobi are interested in taking up Trees for Goals, to plant more trees and to learn about the deforestation and the climate crisis. My future goals for my project is to start Trees for Goals in different schools and football clubs around Kenya and Africa. My ultimate goal is to reach out to FIFA and get them to adopt Trees for Goals into the different leagues and football clubs around the world. Because I believe that football is a universal game and the climate crisis is a universal problem. And football has the power to engage and inspire my generation to create a greener future.
For everyone taking action, we thank you and celebrate you today.
So this is our movement, no matter what you do, where you are, and what you have.
Join us on the 29th of November as we inspire, celebrate, and give back.
Oh yeah, I think let's give her a round of applause for that. So now what's stopping you from coming up with a simple idea which can change lives? Now, can you imagine what type of impact it would have if every single one of us, 8 billion people in this world, if we decided just to plant 2 trees each? Now, can you imagine he was planting 11 trees per goal, but if each of us just planted 2 trees, that would be close to 16 billion trees on the planet. The impact on reducing the carbon footprint would be amazing. But what we'd like to do is that we'd like to congratulate them. And I think I have Rosemary online. Rosemary.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Habari yako?
Salama sana. Habari ya kila mtu uko?
Oh, good, good. Tuko wano, they were here in Uganda, a place called Kampala. Have you been here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you hear me? I think the network is fishy, but don't worry, we'll get there. Okay. Rosemary.
Okay. Yes. I can hear you very clearly.
Great, great. So where are you based? Uko Nairobi?
Based in Nairobi. Yes, I'm based in Nairobi. Yes, here in Nairobi. Now it's a little warmer than it has been cold for a while. And yeah, I just want to, unfortunately, I'm not as young as Leisen. I would have definitely loved to be here. He's a young boy, so he's in school. And actually today he's out on a trip because he's studying sustainable business actually. And he's actually going out in a trip in Netherlands. That's where he's gone to school. To do something around sustainability and issues around climate change. So it's good that he's also doing that. But I think most importantly is to just acknowledge and thank the organizers of this award for recognizing his work. But he made me to make sure that I must dedicate this award to all the young people of his generation, who he totally believes that have the energy, the creativity and the passion to be able to make the change. And more importantly, saying that a lot of young people do want to get involved. They don't know how to, but they want to be given the chance to get involved. And most importantly, the thing that he says all the time is that whatever you are, wherever you are, you can make a difference using your talents or your art or anything that you have to make a change and have a voice for the climate. Recognizing that he reminds us all the time, the generation is not they're not the ones who caused this challenge, this problem, but they're the ones who are going to be most affected. So the most important thing is to just recognize that young people do have a big stake and they should be supported. So he wants to dedicate this award to young people, the family of footballers, and also the team that has supported him, his family, as well as the football team that he's been working with, and all the other young people. He has reached about 15 schools already, and now he's at 5,000, almost 6,000 trees planted. So a big thank you for this opportunity.
Amazing. Before we give you the award, I just have one question, Rosemary. What do you think his inspiration was? What was that defining moment when he said that it's time for me to make a difference? Would you happen to know?
Yes, I mean, he was there. I mean, when he read about the fact that we were losing that number of forest cover in Kenya, he calculated it into about 136 football pitches a day. I must say, I was also shocked. I didn't know it was that serious. And it was also, he linked that with the story of Doing Your Little Things by Professor Wangari Maathai. And since he's always been a sports and very outgoing person and very adventurous and loved the nature, also as a family, it's something that we do in terms of connecting them to nature, always planting trees or also getting involved in farming and all with their grandparents. So it was from there that he felt he needs to do something. So what really inspired him or made him say that he'll be able to do something, and that's why it started simply. He told me, okay, you know what, when I plant a goat, I scored today, I'm going to plant a tree. And I thought it was, cute. and then I realized he was completely dedicated to it. So it was, I think, something that he's been good at. He's always been focused. He decides on something, he will go for it. But I can tell you, even from him, it wasn't something that he thought would grow to this level. But just saying, you can make a change and be the solution that rather than being a problem, which is something that he commits to do. So that's what I think really inspired him to take action.
That's an amazing story. So to hand out this award, I'd like to ask Evans Akinyi, who happens to be the CEO of the East Africa Philanthropy Network. And Evans, I'm handing over to you. This is your moment.
Thank you, Mitch. So there are many days, and my work is about, what we see today. But then there's always that special day, and today is that day. This is so amazing. Rosemary and the Ntunke family is a family that has touched my heart in so many ways. I didn't know that I was gonna do this, so it's a special day to me. At EAPN, what we want to do is to change the narrative of Africa philanthropy. We want to see philanthropy being appreciated at the community level. We want to see us driving the change that we want to see as a community. And Mitch, when you were introducing the morning session, you made an interesting statement from USA, and that is Apuyo Timotich Maber. Do you remember that? Now,
yes, I do.
Where I come from, that is my mother tongue. So I say it in my mother tongue, Apuyo Timotich Maber. That is exactly how we say it where I come from. And it simply means we appreciate the good work that you are doing. So Rosemary, on behalf of your son, I have the single honor and privilege to receive this award on behalf of the lovely boy. I love it when the youth take the development agenda in this moment in time. That tells me that we are having a good transition, and will ensure that the sustainability of the many efforts that we are doing. So this is from South Africa. We thank you for the wonderful work that you are doing, and on behalf of the family that I really value and cherish and respect, continue doing the good work. And this will get to your table on Sunday so that we can celebrate on it while it's still hot. Thank you, and God bless you.
Very much. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, congratulations to you, and we're looking forward to you coming to Uganda one of these days. Up next on our agenda, you know, they say communication is an interesting thing. You can speak, you can send emails, but above all, you can sing. So I'm gifted to be sitting back and relaxing and speaking to one of Uganda's most talented songbirds.
Yo, thank you.
Is that a good introduction?
That's a very good introduction.
Madam Subi. What does Subi mean?
Subi means hope.
Hope. So tell me what hope you have, particularly for the environment and for Uganda.
Wow, what a beautiful question. For me, I have been very active because when I'm not singing, I'm also making visual art, and I speak a lot on climate justice. I think that as an artist, the material that I then create this work with, like my outfit today, is something that people are using daily, and so it gives them access to the work and allows for us to start a conversation at a very normal level. So for me, this conversation and the current situation with climate justice, I believe we need to be faring everything that we can to that conversation in whatever way that we can. And I also believe, for me, when you ask me what does hope mean for that, is that I'm taking very individual steps, but I think the more individual they are, the more they ignite another person, and at the end that compounds. So we are here today, and we are speaking on how we can be agents of change for our environment. And I'm very glad, because then that means those are other individuals who are doing something in their own contexts, and together it compounds.
Well, this is your moment. The platform is yours.
Thank you.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. So this is a song called Chiragala. Can I teach you something? So you just say, Chiragala, Chiragala, eh, Chetwagalo kulagula. Very easy, right? Very easy. Can we sing together? 1, 2, 3, let's go. Chiragala, Chiragala, Chetwagala, eh, Chetwagalo kulagula. Chiragala, Chiragala, Chetwagalo kulagula. Louder. Chiragala, Chiragala, Chetwagalo kulagula. So now tell the person next to you what we are saying. What do we mean? What are we saying? So this is a song. This is what we're saying. This is Chiragala. Are you ready? Let's go. Chiragala, Chiragala, Chetwagalo kulagula. Chiragala, Chiragala, Chetwagalo kulagula. The energy is rising, filling up the air. Forests are burning, burning the green away. Swamps are flooding, see, plastic everywhere. We need to go green, for our lives depend on it. That's why we sing Chiragala, Chiragala, Chetwagalo kulagula, Chetwagalo kulagula.
gula gula. Oh, chiragala, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, that's nice. I can hear you. Chiragala, chiragala. Chitwagalo, gula gula. Chiragala, chiragala. You know, some people are not singing. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Speak up for the land. Oh, oh. Speak up for your future. Oh, you must take a stand. Each one playing their part. As one raising their voice. Oh, we need to go green and to more. For this earth is our only home. Go green right now. Right now. I'll be ready to declare. Let's go. Chiragala, chiragala. Chetwagalo, gula gula. Chiragala, chiragala. Chetwagalo, gula gula. Chiragala, chiragala. Chetwagalo, gula gula. Oh, listen. This is the great revolution. Hey, climate change is real. Oh, this changes everything. Please, please, protect our future. The world is melting right before our eyes. Do something right now. Do something right now. Come on, let's go. Chiragala, chira. Chetwagalo, gula gula, yeah. Chiragala, chiragala, yeah. Chetwagalo, gula gula, yeah, yeah. Chiragala, chiragala. Chetwagalo, gula gula, yeah, yeah. Chiragala, chiragala. A little louder we say, yeah. Chiragala, chiragala, yeah, 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 yeah. Chetwagalo, gula gula. Chiragala, 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 chiragala. Chetwagalo, gula gula. Checho.
Oh yeah, let's give it up for Sandra Subi. Round of applause. Obugalo, Obugalo. Man, now you see, with a voice like that, who's not going to listen to that? And remember, I told you today we're going to be celebrating voices. We're going to be celebrating people who actually have value. And above all, vision. And speaking about vision, what about somebody who over 25 years ago decided that it was time for her to make a difference in terms of the environment? Man, I was just looking through her CV. This is one which makes everybody jealous. All the way from Zambia, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Musonda Mumba.
Hello. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Wow, that was a really humbling introduction. But I want to also say that I'm a child of Africa. I have lived in Kenya for the last 17 years. And my heritage is half South African and half Zambian. So I don't even know where to begin. Jackie, you shocked me, you loved me, you guided me, and I am in awe of everyone in this room. Pamela, I just want to say, everybody looks at me and say, how old are you? I just tell them, I just use shea butter from Gulu. And I just want to say thank you to the Seed Source group, the Seed Source team, the Seed Fund. I mean, you guys are just amazing. And it's such an honor to stand here today at a point when I really want to talk a little bit about language. Part of my heritage is Xhosa. But in Zulu, which is also a South African language, when you greet someone, and I just want us to honor our beautiful languages, when you greet someone, you say, Sawubona. I see you. That's what it means. Our greetings are not a simple hello. Our greetings are spaces of giving. And so as we gather here in a space on this gathering of givers, our greetings, just our greetings in the morning. In Bemba, which is my father's language, we say umutende. And umutende in the morning means peace. I come in peace and I give you peace. And so in the space of giving, I want to say that our ancestry and our heritage and our being to this moment now, is a space of nature. I don't know, because I'm a scientist and I'm a bit of a geek. I just want to say that green is the middle color of the spectrum, of the color spectrum. And it's not an accident that nature gave us green, because it's the only color that is calming. When you walk in the forest, when you walk around in a swamp, when in a field of crops, it's calming. But that's changing. What we're beginning to see is a lot more brown spaces, bowls of dust, things that we knew. We're having conversations, even our generation is having conversations when I was a child. But I see women like Pamela, I see women like Jackie, I see many women and men and young people who are thinking, I don't want my narrative to be when I was young. That disappeared. The stories I've heard, when I used to be the chair of the Global Partnership on Forest Landscape Restoration, I received Gerima Mustafa all the way from Gulu. He walked from Kampala, 642 kilometers to Nairobi, to talk about the plight of women and the shea tree and how it's disappearing, the deforestation, the climate dynamic, the changes, and to raise the profile and also raise the money so that these women, his mothers, his sisters, his aunties, could continue with this precious tree that makes us beautiful. This precious tree that's healing. We find it in our foods. We cook with Vetillaria paradoxica. That is the technical scientific name. But we call it shea. And I'm sure there's a local name in your language. I want to say, because I'm in Uganda, I'm not Ugandan, but I'm really adopted by many Ugandans, including the amazing Her Royal Highness, the Nawa Gereka, who's a dear friend. She taught me so much about Ubuntu Bulamu. And I say to her, but Ubuntu Bulamu and Ubuntu. And I have this card where I say, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu Bulamu talks about values, talks about being, talks about community. So when we talk about a climate crisis, the injustice that has happened, not just to our planet, but to our communities, what we saw, COVID hit in March 2020. A lot of people, when the world was locking down, Lake Victoria was flooding. You could not tell a person, go and wear a mask. In fact, do this. It's flooding. My home is gone. The place I know as home is gone. My field is gone. I don't even know where to go. And what happened was phenomenal. We saw action kick in, people taking people in their homes. That's what we do. We give our space, even if your space is little. By the time the Red Cross is coming in, the first point of action is your community. And so I want to speak to that point that even when we're having crisis, climate crisis, what we're beginning to see, the first point of reaction is your community. Our communities, they kick in. Let's just talk about rituals. The ritual of birth. When I became a mother, my ma Yosenge, which you call Yosenga in Uganda, Mama Yosenga had to come and be with me in Nairobi. And she brought certain foods, certain herbs, certain plants, most of which come from a forest. Because it was about healing, giving to my body. Unfortunately, a lot of those forests, landscapes, wetlands are disappearing and disappearing fast. Rituals, weddings, Just the ritual of marriage. In Bemba, we have to take food to a husband's family. Food. What does food mean? Food is so sacred. You talked about growing food, seeds. Lobola, what we call lobola in Xhosa and also in Bemba, was actually a gift of seeds. You had to receive those seeds. In fact, I heard some years ago, I don't know whether it was from the Baganda or another kingdom, where the king encouraged people to give the young bride and groom trees for their land. Why don't we do those kind of gifts? I want to talk a little bit about the issue of philanthropy. And Evans, you touched on a little bit. And I just wanted to challenge you a little bit because we've been philanthropic people. Prehistoric. We've been givers of givers. The fact that we migrated either from the highlands of Cameroon to the lake shores of Lake Victoria, the Nilotic Hemitics, the Bantus, etc. We've moved and we've given. And in that giving, that's meant that when I arrive in your village, there has to be an element of trust. The same way we talk about grant making. When somebody comes and says, I've got $20 million to give you, I want people to remember that it's much more than money. By the time a woman is waking up at 4 to plan her day and suddenly realize there's been no rain for 4 months, not a drop. She's trying to figure out, how am I going to adapt to this new lifestyle? What am I going to do? And then you walk in and say, big words. Since I've been in the United Nations, today's my last day in the UN. Being resilient means that, we're going to figure out how you're going to adapt to this crisis. And the person is looking at you like, what are you saying? Is there going to be rain? Is there going to be food on my table in the next 3 months for my children? Is this thing going to grow? Can you give me the data? I can tell from the sky that the swallows have stopped showing up, and the swallows were indicative of rain. When you say, Dr. Mish, about the bees, I think we take a lot for granted. We take a lot for granted and just assume that somehow things are going to last for a long time and forever. They don't. And if they do disappear, what do we do? And I want to end by just saying that suvi, ukusuvila, in my language is to have hope. Suvi's song was just beautiful. Touched me, gave my heart, but also brought to the fore the issue of secularity. In fact, many years ago when I came to Uganda, a girlfriend of mine gifted me a bag that she had made from jeans from second-hand shop, and it was written on it Kabera. But every time I go around Uganda, I'm seeing loads of plastic. I'm still waiting for that change to happen, and thank you so much for really encouraging people. And lastly but not the least, and I was so glad that I had a moment to just talk with Jackie this morning, how do we honor the past generation, the present generation, but the generations to come? Let's remember their names. And as I'm speaking in this space of giving, I honor Vanessa Nakate. I honor Moses Mulindwa. I honor many young Africans, many youth voices who have been so impatient with our inaction. And it's this impatience that has triggered, even in the multilateral space as the United Nations, conversations. In a few months, we're going to have the climate COP in Sharm el-Sheikh at the end of the Nile. That river that flows out of continent, beginning of the Nile, right here from Jinja. At the end of the Nile, there'll be a discussion on climate change. Elizabeth Watuti, Kenya. Oladesu Adenike, Olomide, many young people who are really pushing the dial. They're tired. They're tired of sometimes of our gatherings that mean nothing. Can these gatherings be the gatherings that really put the seed in? And I'm so glad that, when I see those videos that you've curated, the videos of that young man with the football, the Pamelas of this world who just going every day. And sometimes we don't see them even in our televisions or in our newspapers. Let us tell their stories. Let us remember their names. Let us honor them every day before the world makes them invisible. every day. If we have to put plaques and signs somewhere on the building, let's do it. Because it's these everyday people that do extraordinary stuff that make even our African philanthropy so valuable and so precious. Thank you so much for having me here. Deeply honored.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should give a huge round of applause. Wow, Dr. Musona, that was amazing. And what was most amazing for me is, did you see how comfortable she was switching between Luganda and her language and the rest? Okay, I know you might be a linguist, but this shows true Ubuntu, that we actually can be our brother's keepers. Now, what we're going to do is that I'd like to introduce a panel of very interesting individuals who are going to come here and tell us more about what we can do to impact the environment, how we can be givers to actually ensure that we have a more sustainable future. So, with great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first panelist. She's very passionate about the rights of the most vulnerable individuals. She's been a community activist for the longest time, and she's been responding to the challenges of climate change for the longest period. Currently, she's the executive director of the Foundation for Integrated Rural Development, FIRD. Please welcome Harriet Adong. And please welcome another individual who actually has close to over 2 decades of experience working on renewable energy. He's a technocrat who knows how to get his hands dirty. Please welcome the National Coordinator of the National Renewable Energy Platform, Mr. Godfrey Chimuli. And you know, they always say that the future belongs to young people. Well, this young person here has worked on so many different social projects which focus particularly on adolescent girls and young women. She's also a member of the African Feminist Academy for Climate Justice, Gender and Climate Change. Please welcome Caroline Owashaba. And a personal friend of mine, he's not only given me business and I've not only done most of his events, but it's also a very, very firm part of the company DNA. As Roofings Uganda, they've actually taken, you know, a firm initiative to make sure that they work very hard to keep everything they do sustainable. He's their corporate affairs manager at Roofings. Please welcome Stuart Jason Mwesigwa. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our 4 panelists. We're going to hear from them right after the break.
It's time to believe and win with Coca-Cola and FIFA World Cup. Simply buy any Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, Stoney, or Novida 300ml glass bottle. Check for your unique code under the cap and send your code to 6688 to participate for free and stand a chance to win a trip to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. TVs, decoders, phones, and airtime are also up for grabs. Believe and win big. Hashtag believing is magic. T's and C's apply.
She slaps me. He pushes me into the wall. They even pinch me where they know people won't see. I have bruises.
Use your hands to nurture, not to destroy a child's life. Call toll-free line 116 to report any cases of child violence in your community. This message is brought to you by Joining Forces Consortium with support from the European Union.
Become the champion. Get your Predator Energy drink today.
Camino coming in somehow.
The official energy drink partner of Liverpool FC. Predator Energy. Zukuka.
Northern Uganda, are you ready? The Saturday Monitor in partnership with NTV and Naro brings you the 29th Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic in Lira, focusing on cassava, dairy, rice, fish farming and soybean, to be held at the Ingeta Zono Agriculture Research and Development Institute in Ingeta Zadi. Come join us on Saturday, 8th October 2022 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Breakfast and lunch are free. For exhibition or more information, please call 0777 530044 or 0756 849133. Sponsored by Bank of Uganda, Stanbic Bank, NSSF and Zoetis. Seeds of Gold. Smarter farming for bumper harvest.
You know why Fanta goes really great with snacks? Because just like Fanta, snacking is colorful. Snacking isn't formal, which means no knives and forks. You don't even need to book a table for snacking. In fact, you don't need a table at all. Snacking is comfy and playful. Snacking is a tasty treat. That's why snacking is colorful. Snack with Fanta.
Daily Monitor and KPMG, in partnership with DFCU Bank, Uganda Investment Authority and Huawei Technologies Uganda, invite companies and SMEs to participate in the Uganda Top 100 Forum on leveraging on the pivotal role of information technology and innovation for SMEs business growth. The forum is scheduled to take place on Wednesday the 5th of October 2022 at Sheraton Hotel, Renzori Ballroom from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The keynote speaker will be Aaron Masembe, the IT Solution Sales Director of Huawei Technologies Uganda, along with Ron Kawamara, the CEO of Jumia, and Augustine Sechondwa, the Business Process Analyst at Nita Uganda. To be a part of the forum, call Salome on 0704 416356. For live updates, follow hashtag Top 100 SMEs 22.
Flavor. When we're together, the vibe is pretty alright. Our taste is pretty awesome. We are Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment. Enjoy Mirinda Fruity, Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment.
How do you do that? I'm listening. Hey!
OneXBet operates under Advanced Gaming Limited and it's licensed and regulated by National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board. Betting is addictive and can be psychologically harmful, and it's eligible to persons above 25 years of age. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time to believe and win with Coca-Cola and FIFA World Cup. Simply buy any Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, Stony, or Novida 300ml glass bottle. Check for your unique code under the cap and send your code to 6688 to participate for free and stand a chance to win a trip to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. TVs, decoders, phones, and airtime are also up for grabs. Believe and win big. Hashtag believing is magic. T's and C's apply.
Northern Uganda, are you ready? The Saturday Monitor in partnership with NTV and Naro brings you the 29th Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic in Lira, focusing on cassava, dairy, rice, fish farming and soybean, to be held at the Ingeta Zono Agriculture Research and Development Institute in Ingeta Zadi. Come join us on Saturday, 8th October 2022 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Breakfast and lunch are free. For exhibition or more information, please call 0777 530044 or 0756 849133. Sponsored by Bank of Uganda, Stanbic Bank, NSSF and Zoetis. Seeds of Gold. Smarter farming for bumper harvest.
You know why Fanta goes really great with snacks? Because just like Fanta, snacking is colorful. Snacking isn't formal, which means no knives and forks. You don't even need to book a table for snacking. In fact, you don't need a table at all. Snacking is comfy and playful. Snacking is a tasty treat. That's why snacking is colorful. Snack with Fanta.
So it's the gathering of givers, and today we're celebrating environmental climate philanthropy. So if anybody was to ask you, how would I know that you did a good job? Well, probably somebody would have had to seen it, or in the words of our keynote speaker, I think she said something around the sense that we need to tell people stories. Because otherwise, you see, it's like being good looking in the dark. Nobody can see you. So how do you inspire the next generation to also do good? To also take care of their environment? To take care of people around them? Well, it's by actually telling stories. So we put together a superstar panel of individuals who are going to give us their stories right now. So I think I want to kick it off with Harriet. It's great to have you here, Harriet. I'd like to hear what's your story and what can we learn from it?
Thank you very much, Mitch. My name is Harriet and I come from a post-conflict community. My work has been around mobilizing women, young people and men together, just like the keynote speaker noted. The values of Ubuntu start around building community. So through our work with Sea Fund, we've been able to mobilize women to have a voice to protect our golden tree. She shared how people say she's young. That comment always comes to me as well. But yes, I use Yao, which is the share butter, which oil I continue to use to protect myself, my skin. It makes you look younger. So as the women of Lira, or the work that we do is in Alepton, we mobilize these women so that we protect these indigenous trees, because these indigenous trees continue to help us rebuild our generational resources. In the work that we do, women have been left out in the spaces of ensuring they ensure the protection of the trees, and yet they are the ones who do a lot of work with these trees. So in the work that we do, we are creating a platform, a space where women come and share about the issues that they face. So we use different indigenous strategies. For example, we bring on communities, men, our elders, in spaces that we tell stories with young people. We build these values into the young people so that we all take on the initiative of planting trees, this share nut tree, but also we help them to plant alternative trees for food, just like Pamela shared. Food insecurity is a big issue in this community. So when we help the community to plant the share nut tree, and also the alternative trees for food security, it has contributed to replanting or reprotecting these trees, because these trees have become extinct. But we know as a community we have to build the value of the value of protection among the young people. You asked the question how. Just like the keynote speaker said, the Ubuntu, what does it mean? The issue around value, building value starts from you as an individual. It doesn't come from somewhere very far. So if for us as parents, as guardians, we don't build that value in the children that we bring up, the issue of protecting this environment will not, even if we go around shouting, protect the environment, and this value is not instilled in the young children, who are the generation of this future, of this global space we're in, then we'll definitely not do much. So our work looks at that, building value in the young people so that the young people take on this initiative. Issues around being, who are you as a human being, but also being identified as a person of that same community. So we identify with this community in the work that we do. The issue around trust that was spelled out. If the community does not trust you, they will not join hands. But if you go in a community that trusts you, they know who you are, it's very easy to build a movement so that we advocate for the protection of the environment. Vis-a-vis what we do, we're also training women and young people to do alternative energy, where the community themselves came up with ideas to make briquettes, charcoal briquettes, which is an alternative to cutting down this tree, because the women spend most of the time in those places. So what we do through this partnership with CFund is to ensure we develop our own strategies. And of recent, the women are coming up with smart agriculture, and the young people, so that they do a lot of planting for the generation to come. Just like we know that with the food insecurity now, we are having a lot of deaths among young people because of hunger. And so we're saying, what can we do to ensure that we have those alternatives? So the young people are coming up with smart agriculture so that they ensure that there's a lot of food to be grown for the future. And the women are picking up the aspect of vegetable gardens, where they grow these vegetables to provide for themselves, but also for the community. So the aspect of Ubuntu starts from you, but also it scales out to the community. Yeah. So I think for us as an organization, this partnership with CFund has taught us so much, not just to plant for now or to protect the environment for now, but to protect the environment for the future together as a community.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harriet Adong. So Godfrey, what does National Renewable Energy Platform do?
Thank you. Thank you, moderator. My name is Godfrey Chumuli. And as introduced, I've been working in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for some couple of years. But right now, I'm a bit disengaged from the ministry. In the ministry, our major role has been to actually implement the policies and regulations that are formulated by the ministry. In this case, for development and rational utilization of energy resources in the country. That's the major goal of the renewable energy policy. Now, over the years, many people, many organizations, the private sector, the different government departments and ministries have been trying to come up to implement different aspects of energy, including renewable energy. And there have been challenges in implementation, challenges in adoption, challenges in accessibility. And those different stakeholders and players have been approaching the ministry for a way forward, how to implement energy technologies and products in a quick and easy way, because it was not really easily feasible. So government realized then, the ministry realized that there are challenges in implementing and in promoting energy technologies and energy products countrywide. And you know, energy is like the first speaker talked about food security. Energy it contributes to food security. You may be having food, but without energy, you cannot consume that food. So government came out with a platform, formulated a platform called the National Renewable Energy Platform, to ensure that all the different stakeholders in the energy space are brought together for purposes of harmonization, proper organization, and to see that they disseminate energy resources and technologies that are useful, that are easily accessible to the population of the country for the general good, for the general benefit of the population. Now the National Renewable Energy Platform, by the way, I am currently the national coordinator of that platform. The platform embraces all players, stakeholders, including government, ministries and departments, then the donor community, the private sector, the civil society organizations, and what they call communities of practice. They all come together under that renewable national energy platform, national renewable energy platform, to discuss ideas on how to advance renewable energy accessibility and usability in the country. Now, that's about the NREP. When we turn to the keynote address, the lady talked about the changing green. Changing green, actually, we have realized this over a period of time. Places that used to actually appear green are now becoming brown. Not only because of the buildings and the iron roofs which are brown that have been set up, but even the soils itself are bare. The soils are bare and they appear green, not rather brown. What has been the cause of this? The weather, the climatic effects, the weather changes that have been brought about by the increasing greenhouse gases. These greenhouse gases come or emanate from the dangerous use, inefficient use of energy resources mostly, and the use of inefficient technologies.
And I think I'll agree with you, Godfrey, but you think one of the next speakers actually is somebody who's been fighting to champion, you see, all of these solutions to make Uganda greener. In fact, so I'm just going to jump from you, and I'll come back just a bit, okay. But I'll ask Caroline, in the interest of time, to tell us more about what you're doing in your organization. First of all, championing women, and then working together with women to actually fight climate change, so that we can solve some of the problems that Godfrey has.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Rich, and I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Msonda, because she talked about the various, about the small things we do. But at Action for Youth Development, I think we have been moved by the little things we do that create a difference, and it has helped us to take action in whatever we do in our daily life. When you talk about climate change and actions, for us we look at the local sustainable solutions. As we wait for the technocrats to come on board, what can we do? First of all, we look at building resilience of women at the grassroots. You all understand that women are the food providers globally, 70% of them. So when climate change hits, it hits women, and then their children are affected health-wise, and then their settlements are distracted, and then they cannot access health services. So what we do is that I'll give an example from where I come from, being predominantly a banana growing area. So when climate change happens, it destroys their gardens. And to bring back the gardens for the women, Pamela talked about food security. But how do we build that resilience for the women to keep strong even when this is happening? There must be an incentive. So what we have done as an organization, we realize that these women are growing and practicing agriculture, but they do not actually understand what soil they are growing on. But in the developed world, people will understand the soil where they are practicing agriculture from. So bring the plant doctor to the grassroots so that they understand the actual problem. And that it starts from the time of growing up to the post-harvesting. And if women have those incentives that they know there are people who are coming to them, they are able to actively participate in agriculture production, and their production goes up economically, and also in agriculture adaptation we are all benefiting. Another thing we are doing is about skilling in green economy, doing value additions on what they are doing so that we are able to produce what we call the socially, economically, and biodegradable products that are environmental friendly. What do I mean? You looked at Suvi, she was here singing. You look at her dress. There is a variation in that dress that talks a lot. There is a story. There is a big story about it. And what we are doing is that if you have eaten a banana, what can you do to the banana stem? Can you extract and produce products that will bring money, and you're able to take your children to school? Meaning that you're contributing to the climate change agenda, but also contributing to your livelihood.
I like the strategy that you're using at the grassroots. But I'm going to ask Stuart, because Stuart, now you work with a multi-million-dollar organization. From a corporate standpoint, what strategies have you guys employed to ensure that we have a greener future?
Thank you, Dr. Michi, and our keynote speaker. Welcome and thank you very much for Ubuntu. Stuart Jasot Mwesigo, my name's from Roofings Group, and I happen to be a Munyoro also, who is very passionate about climate change, environment, and the way we actually behave in this world, how we live in this world. From the corporate point of view, as Roofings, we have on a daily basis encouraged not only our staff, not only our other partners in the corporate world, but even our customers. When you visit Roofings, whether you're going to buy or you are just a potential customer, the first thing that will welcome you, both in Namamve and in Ruboa, is the green environment. You will not believe that you are entering a factory which uses a lot of heat, which is supposed to emit a lot of smoke. You will not see anything like that. I'm sure Mr. Kimuli here, if you haven't visited of recent, should come and see that we are setting the example. We have smoke, we have things that can really affect the environment, can affect the climate, but we have employed efficient technologies that will ensure that we don't emit anything that is going to disturb our environment. The second thing that will welcome you is you'll find that at all our outlets and the factories, we have tree stands, seedlings. So everybody that visits our workplace is entitled to pick minimum one seedling, but maximum we can discuss how many you want to go and plant. That is a culture we have developed, whereby when you visit us or when you have come to buy a product that is going to build your house that you will live in happily, you will have to remember that I got a tree and I planted this from Roofings. Your children, your other relatives will see that as an example, and we encourage even you people, when you get time, come and visit us. You will live with a tree to go and plant in remembrance that you visited Roofings, but as well, when Dr. Mitch here was telling us 8 billion people after watching the video here, if we planted two trees, how many trees will those be? So if you visited Roofings 10,000 times, how many trees will you say? Another thing, in our processes, we use a lot of gases and what. So we would be a meeting, but we extract from the air various gases and purify them for our own use, but as well, because of our efficient systems, efficient technology that we're employing, we happen to be producing oxygen. So this oxygen, most of it, we give it back to the hospitals. It did a great deal during the COVID times. We give it for free to hospitals to save lives so that people can actually plant more trees, and the excess, we emit it.
I'm telling you, these are the stories.
And see that our climate is not affected.
Yeah, let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much.
If just 1 minute, I said I'm a Munyoro and I happen to be part of the kingdom as a legislator there. In Munyoro, I would want to say also something they are doing about this. Our king gave us instructions. Sorry, it's on sad moments when we lose someone. Many times we take flowers. I was in the UK 2 weeks ago when the Queen passed on. If you see how many flowers, yes, it's a sign of grief. It's a sign of feeling with others. But in Munyoro, we have been instructed by our king. When we lose someone, instead of laying the wreath, you plant a tree. So in everyone, wherever we go for a funeral, people are advised, instead of laying a wreath, we plant a tree. That's one other way of how we are going about it.
Really amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to give a huge round of applause to all of our panelists, to Harriet, Godfrey, Caroline, and Stuart. Feel free to keep engaging with them on our social media platforms. If you're in the audience, tap them and pull them aside for a sidebar discussion. We've learned a lot from each of them, and a lot of stories have come out. And let's just give them a round of applause as they take their seats, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Up next, we're going to have an encore performance from a lovely young singer who was here a few minutes ago, but she's back for round 2. Are you ready for Sandra Subi?
Come on. Singa tobate kulwange sandi sobote era kwankumye mukama nze nsimye amazima nsimye nsimye. No Neanzensimye, come on. Neanzis, neanzeke, neanzisa, neanzeke, oh neanzisa, olokunchakala, nontusana balankida, neanzisa se. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody.
Sandra Subi.
Yes, sir.
Come back here. Come back here. Ochimanyi nti waliwo abantu bangi who have problems no Luganda. So nganze. There are many people internationally and nationally who have problems with Luganda. But your song was so beautiful. I need just to find out. Insimye, chitegezachi. What's the meaning behind it? And what was your inspiration when you were singing and when you were coming up with it?
Well, the song is a song of thanksgiving, really. Nsimye means I'm grateful.
Yes.
And so really, throughout the song, we're just giving thanks for all the beautiful things that are happening and just taking a moment, really. I personally have an alarm that goes off at midday.
Yes.
Just so that I can give thanks. Because sometimes it just changes everything. It helps you recognize that there's so much beauty and there's so much that is actually good. But many times, it's very easy to notice the bad. So it's important to be
thankful.
Thanks.
Let's give a huge round of applause to Sandra Subi. Africa. And I want to introduce you to an organization that have taken time and energy to put together a platform that does just that. They recognize all the good work and philanthropy that's being done all over the world. Amazing stuff. Take a look for yourself.
We want to express how excited we are to share and participate in the Gathering of Givers. At Philanthropy Circuit, we produce and curate content, data, and insights to drive and influence a new narrative and understanding of African homegrown giving and development. We also welcome the opportunity to highlight development insights, events such as this, and organizations pertinent to charity and development in Africa. Speaking to the theme of this year's Gathering of Givers, Earth Calling, responding with seeds of generosity, it is important to share Nigeria's Department of Climate Change mission. The department seeks to provide a sustainable policy framework and enabling environment for climate change action in Nigeria, and to regularly update information regarding national greenhouse gas emissions, mitigation options, vulnerability assessment, and adaptation measures to the impact of climate change. It is the department's vision that Nigeria develops in harmony with the environment. This is why Philanthropy Circuit is happy to join in the celebration of the Gathering of Givers and share examples of organizations giving and contributing to climate change. Let's begin. EnviroNews. EnviroNews is a non-profit organization established in July 2012 to advocate for climate change and sustainable development. EnviroNews is dedicated to the pursuit of a healthy and pollution-free environment via effective information dissemination. ACT Foundation. The Aspire Coronation Trust, ACT Foundation, is a grant-making non-profit established in 2016 to support local, national, and regional non-profit organizations working to address challenges and associated vulnerabilities across the African continent. The organization seeks to promote broad-based participation or partnerships with other institutions and donor organizations aimed at building sustainable development communities and providing innovative solutions to social, economic, and environmental challenges. These are examples of how Nigeria and its citizens play a vital role in the fight against global warming and every other activity that causes extreme climatic events. Once again, Philanthropy Circuit is delighted to be part of this great cause and look forward to many more achievements in the sector.
Wow, amazing work that you're doing there. Congratulations to everybody from ACT and Bidemi. And we'd like to say, Una, welcome to Uganda. The truth be told, you know, if everybody in Nigeria, if everybody on the African continent could decide just to do one thing to safeguard the environment, plant a tree, use less water, there's so many ways that we could make an impact. But we'd like to thank you in a special way. And I'd like to call Elizabeth. Is Elizabeth in the room? Elizabeth? Good to see you, good to see you.
Hi everyone. I almost shouted in your ears. Good afternoon everyone, and good afternoon Mitch. Good to see you too.
Good to see you too. Can I tell you that we have Bidemi live in Nigeria also? Do you think, can we say a quick hi to her before
hi
you give
Bidemi, hi from Uganda, and hi from Kampala. Tusanyusenyo okulaba.
Tetunaba mulaba.
I'm trying to. Can you do that again so I can try once more?
Tusanyusenyo okukulaba.
Tusanyusenyo.
Yay!
I got the first part.
Yes,
right.
you did.
Okay,
Okukulaba. That just means we are happy to see you.
Awesome. I'm happy to see you as well. Thank you so much.
And a big congratulations to ACT. We are so proud of the work that you're doing. We are so proud of the work that you do at your country level, national level, regional level, at the different communities that you serve. On behalf of CIFSOS Africa, we accept this award on your behalf, and we celebrate you always. Allow me to show you. So, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for ACT. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Civic Stars, and thank you to the Philanthropy Circuit team for nominating ACT Foundation. We are committed to environmental protection and to support human activities. And since inception, we have funded programs relating to waste management, upcycling, tree planting, and recycling. And we have done that across Africa. So we are very privileged, and we thank you for bringing us to Uganda and back home to Nigeria. Thank you, Bidemi. Thank you to the team, and thank you to CIFSOS Africa.
Thank you.
Wow. So, you know, they say that if you want to pick up great habits, they should start from your home, or you should start really young. So the next school, they come from one of the most renowned institutions of learning in Uganda called Gayaza High School. Okay, I knew it was renowned, but not that renowned. Huh? So, ladies and gentlemen, these young ladies are from Senior 2 and from Senior 5. They came with their projects coordinator, who is called Field Mirinda, and Angela and Akampa are part of what they call the Wildlife and Environment Club. In their club, they do quite a lot. They talk about how to use plastics, you know, conservatively, to reuse if you need to use them, sensitize about the proper disposal of rubbish and tree planting, particularly in the school. But instead of me stealing their thunder, I think it's time for us to welcome them. Ladies and gentlemen, Angela and Akampa Rona.
Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon, rather, sorry. My name is Akamparona Muguzi.
My name is Ichiriza Angela.
We are spoken word artists representing the Environment and Wildlife Club of Gaza High School. And we'll be performing for your poem, the climate change revolution.
We are holding the continent at gunpoint. Stop whatever you're doing. You are witnessing a revolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, it may have passed unnoticed, but recently a change came upon our generation, a change that you cannot ignore.
We woke up from a dream where we believed that the grown-ups would solve our problems, a dream where those problems were for tomorrow.
This is reality. This is our generation's answer. Do not be alarmed. We are simply taking
necessary riots to fight for our birthrights.
Climate change is not something that can be smoothed over with honey words and lying tongues.
We recognize the need for change, and so we have taken it upon ourselves to bring it.
This is not some easy tree planting initiative. We plan on turning Africa and the world upside down. This is about the immoral continued use of exhaust mechanisms that are choking our unborn children. This is
to still believe that global warming is a myth.
We are tired of pretending that we are not currently sitting on an active volcano.
We will no longer allow the encroachment on our forests to go without punishment.
We will no longer greet with smiles the enemies of our future. We are tired of promises built on false promises. This is the end of signing away our problems.
Our generation will not sit in soft chairs and talk our problems away. We are moving to the deserts and away from the conference halls.
Our generation will not simply host climate parties. We will actively participate in the change making. We will not accept to be held back by ancient divisions. We are facing the effects of global warming first. There is a total of one Earth in this galaxy. There is a total of one life to be lived. I choose to live my life thinking of the future.
I choose to live my life knowing that there is no planet B.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a climate change revolution. This is our generation, accepting Mother Nature's call.
Thank you. Would like to tell you a bit about our club. If you can't already see it, we are facing the effects of climate change in Uganda today. In most of northern Uganda, there is the lack of food and water. Ladies and gentlemen, that is commonly referred to as famine. We as the Gaza High School Wildlife and Environment Club can see that, and we are aware of the effects of the things that we are doing to our country and to our soils. Ladies and gentlemen, we represent a small part of a large community who are passionate about the environment, a community that is willing to do everything and anything to extend our life on planet Earth. As a club, we have taken several steps towards that end. At the grassroots, the girls are being taught how to separate their rubbish from the non-biodegradables from the biodegradables to save energy and to save time in protecting our environment. At the school farm, we have built a biodigester that is able to process our biodegradable rubbish and turn it into clean, safe energy. The students have also been educated on urban farming practices that use recycled plastic to save the plastic that is disposed of from the school environment. The club has taken the initiative of trips to other schools within our community to educate them on climate change and climate action and what they can do in their communities to save our country and our world. We have planted over 150 trees in 5 different schools so far, and we plan to do even more.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the ladies from Gaza High School. Ladies, I would give you the whole day, but this is going live on international television, so we've got less than 15 minutes. I'd like you to curtsy and let's give them a round of applause as they walk out. Thank you very much. Congratulations again, and continue changing the environment one tree at a time. And speaking about trees, I don't know, this story here just doesn't get old. In fact, let's go to Kenya and see what they're doing.
My name is Eliza Fanogechi. I'm the director of Nguzo Africa. We are a community foundation here in Kenya, and I am personally passionate about environmental conservation and the climate change crisis. As you can see here in Narok, we have a serious challenge of environmental degradation, where we have a lot of felling of trees for expansion of land for farming, expansion of land for wheat production, and there is limited support from the communities to reforest those areas where trees have been removed. A lot of charcoal burning is also happening here in Narok, threatening the ecosystem of this particular county, which is more prominent in three areas: agriculture, tourist production, and wildlife. In Narok County, we have a target of growing 3 million trees to address the challenge of climate change crisis here in Narok, and we have been trying to do this by bringing into the front line school children, parents, county governments, stakeholders who are like-minded with what we do in tree growing, and we started a campaign, adopted tree campaign, where we aim to plant 1 million trees in the next 1 year. But that's the beginning, because the demand for trees here in Narok is immense, and we've been supported by this initiative by KCDF and the I&M Foundation, who have helped us to start this journey by planting. For a start, we planted 50,000 seedlings in schools, public spaces, and community spaces. Through this initiative, we are also doing a lot of community awareness and community outreaches to encourage people to plant and grow trees to maturity. So we call upon our partners to come together and support our initiative so that we can have a new Narok which is well conserved and which will reclaim the lost landscapes in Narok.
Asante sana. Congratulations to Ngeshe and everybody from Narok. Let's give him a round of applause. This is what we call leading by example. In fact, I think he's online right now. Can we say a quick hi to you? Ngeshe? Well, as he's preparing to give us his manifesto, I'd like to call the CIVSOS Africa Director for Strategy, Ms. Stella Lutalo, to actually hand over the award.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm very honored this afternoon to present an award to Nguzo African Community Foundation for the outstanding work they're doing on tree planting. Like we all know, climate change is a global concern, a global challenge, but the biggest impacts are felt at the grassroots. And this community foundation is doing a lot of work at grassroots level, working with the young people, working with different stakeholders, schools, and many other young people, and also targeting the most affected ecosystems in arid and semi-arid lands that are most fragile and most impacted by climate change. So I would like to present the award to Mr. Elizafan Ongwechi, the one you've just seen on the video. I don't know whether you are with us. Yes, there you go.
I am here.
Yes. Hi, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yes. On behalf of CIVSOS Africa, we would like to present to you our gratitude award for the outstanding work that you are doing to revive ecosystems through tree planting. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much. From here.
Yeah. East Africa Philanthropy Network will deliver your award. Yeah, they'll deliver it to you in Kenya.
We are so thankful for what you've done to us, because we are trying to reclaim some of these forests. In one of the forests which is being threatened by by the people around it. Loita Forest is in Narok County and it is being threatened by the community here, and you can see trees are being felled all over. And this is the source of water which is going to our lakes here in Lake Natron. But this water will not be there if we continue cutting a lot of trees. You can see down here.
Thank you so much for the great work you're doing. Congratulations.
All right, great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our final video of the day takes us a couple of countries away to Tanzania. And this is another challenge, waste management and how it's being dealt with.
Baadaye tutasema record ya YouTube. So just click.
Okay, I think we had a slight problem with the audio there, but we just like to thank everybody from FCS Tanzania. We'll see if we can put the updated version with audio on our website, so you'll have a chance to see that. But we just like to say congratulations to them for all the hard work which they're doing. And I think I'd like to ask Elizabeth. Lillian. Yes, Lillian. If you could kindly do us the honors to handle this one and hand over. So Lillian Tamale is the acting CEO of SeaSource Africa. She's going to hand over the award and also give the closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Mitch, apoyo matek. Apoyo ateka. Thank you all so much for making the time. Dr. Musonda Natotela, Nkosi. Thank you all to the audience that is here. And before I proceed, it is my honor and pleasure to hand over this award to one of our partners, Foundation for Civil Society in Tanzania, Unfortunately, we couldn't go through the entire video, but it will be uploaded live. We appreciate the work that you do. We have worked with you in very many other spaces. So thank you so much. And on behalf of CIFSOS Africa, I would like to show off your award. I know some of you are following online, and we shall make sure that this gets to you somehow. I think Jackie, we may have to get on a plane to take the award, right? Okay. So, my name is Lillian Tamale, and I would like to start here. At CIFSOS Africa, we're in the business of doing things intentionally differently, one of which is growing leaders starting from within. And I'm saying this because I've been on a number of spaces and forums, and there are people who still ask why and how and where, and it is because we have a culture of ensuring that organizations remain sustainable, and they are able to transcend a leader. So starting last year, we started, I would call it a practice, a way of doing, where our leaders internally are able to step back and let others, take care of business at office. And I would like to acknowledge Jacqueline Asimwe, Miss Jacqueline Asimwe, for being such a visionary leader, because in doing what we are doing, we're showing other civil society elsewhere that we can actually do this to ensure that our organizations remain sustainable. At CIFSOS Africa, we are passionate about many things, and one of which is to show that, I think Mitch talked about at a certain point, you can't be looking good and you're in the dark, right? So we always take the advantage of trying to show off philanthropy the best way we can. And I'm so proud of the team at CIFSOS Africa, because this is our 3rd year of the Gathering of Givers. It's getting bigger, it's getting better. And I would like to acknowledge colleagues who have been, and they are on their feet, thank God. Antonio is the head of our philanthropy program, and Madonna works closely with Antonio. There's a huge support system behind them, but together they are powerhouse, and we acknowledge you, good people. Thank you so much for the hard work that you're doing. In our first year of the Gathering of Givers, I do recall our first theme was count, account, and recount. Last year we went big, bold, and brave, and here we are with the 3rd Gathering of Givers. We'd like to thank you for the good work that the entire team is doing, but for also our partners who have been with us and stood with us. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge our partners, the Shire Grassroots Fund, partners Pamela spoke, all the way from Gulu. We have, yes, you heard from our colleagues from Lira, FAD. We also have colleagues from the Friends of Zoka community. Thank you so much for the work that you do. We acknowledge you. Dr. Musonda, I'm not sure I have the right words to say thank you to you, and because I know that Jackie is a dear friend, I would like to invite Jackie to say the words that she would have wanted me to say in her own language. She told you she's a Muchiga. She speaks a little differently. And as Jackie comes on, I would also like to thank and acknowledge our private sector partners. I would like to thank Roofings. Roofings Uganda has given us thousands of trees to plant, and everyone should be able to walk away with some trees. I would like to thank NTV for hosting us live. Would like to thank Steel for giving us this space, our service providers who've brought us to this mini forest. We acknowledge you all. Jackie.
Okay.
Dr. Musonda, what do I say? I met her at a gathering of women leaders in conservation, and she gave a talk about her life as a woman leader in that space. And I just felt her energy, and I said I must find a way that she should be our guest of honor today. And I jumped into her inbox. When we're talking about energy, it's not just energy, is also from the heart. So we connected sister to sisters. We literally met this morning. And tomorrow she's on her way to a new posting. She told you today is her last day at the UN. Tomorrow she's on her way to Geneva for another huge posting. So a round of applause. African women are leading this space. And I see that we must end. Yes, Sean. But thank you. I love you. I pray for you. I wish you well.
Thank you so much, Jackie. And finally, to our young network, Young Givers Network and Movements, the ladies from Gayaza, what a wow. Well done, and we continue to support you. And finally, to you all, for the time that you put aside, thank you so much. See you next year around the same time. Thank you.
Turning on your world. On the next episode is brought to you by
Enjoy as you win in the Trigger Tickle promotion today.
Today on Seeds of Gold, we look at the dragon fruit.
Yes, there are 3 types of dragon fruit that I have seen so far. One is called the red fresh, which is this one.